Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I am Roger Wakefield, 45-year plumber, coming to you from, the Arlington Hero House. This is actually a pretty cool place. It's an Airbnb. Randy and I are actually over in Arlington, Texas, working on YouTube, learning how to get better. We go live every day at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So no matter where you are in the country, at lunchtime, you can jump in here, watch this, maybe pick up a little something that might help you grow your business, grow you, do something like that. If you've been here before, welcome back. We are so glad that you're here. But if this is your first time, stick around for a little bit. If you've got a question, comment, or anything, jump into the chat. Love to hear from you and even know where you're at, what's happening. So as you see, I am not here alone. Squirt, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing lovely, and good morning. Glad to see you here. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Just keeping the week cruising right along. It's been a big week of learning for us, and we have a long week still ahead of us. But I'm Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter by trade. Now I'm the CEO of Leak Pro, and I would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. If you're a plumber out there and you want to add leak detection to your list of services, you can check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But if you're not experienced at all with leak detection, give me a call. I offer a 2-day in-person training just outside of Dallas, Texas. Give me a call. Let's discuss that and how we can add this to your business or create a business just for leak detection. So give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to discuss the equipment or the training with you. Because, guys, that's why I do all this, is to help the plumbers out in the world and put the right tools in your hands so that you're not losing out on leak detection jobs. If you got the right tool, it's easier to go in and actually land that job for your business. So give me a call. Once again, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO.
Yeah. And if you would like to do what we do here, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about YouTube, we teach people. But we did a deal. We put together a webinar because every time we talk about YouTube with people, they always try to give us reasons. Well, I can't do this because I don't have all the cool equipment you've got. And I'm like, guys, I started with my phone and a laptop. So there's a lot of different things that people give me, a lot of different reasons. We made a webinar kind of teaching people that a lot of these things aren't really true and showing them some things that they can do to get around it. So if you'd be interested in learning how to do YouTube, just like we do, go to www.justmattroger.com and see what we can do to help you out. So let's jump in because I like this, and I was just trying to look on my phone. I was trying to see how long it's supposed to take to get from Los Angeles to San Francisco. They are actually building a high-speed rail project in California. And just here recently, they've reached a labor agreement, which is a big deal. That helps get things moving. But California's bullet train effort moves forward after a major union agreement covering 10,000 workers across multiple trades. And guys, this is going to be going on for a while. This is supposed to be an 8-year project. Can you imagine a project that's going to keep 10,000 people busy for 8 years? That's going to be great for the economy in California. And I got to tell you, the California Union pays pretty good, guys. If you're thinking, hey, I may want to relocate one day to somewhere warm that has beaches and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, this is going to be all up and down California.
Mm-hmm.
But California fools people too, because that ocean water is freezing. I'm telling y'all, if you don't know it, the Pacific Ocean is cold. You ever go out there, Randy?
I haven't gotten into the ocean out there. Now I've seen it. I've been right on the shore. Haven't stepped into the ocean on that side of the country yet, Guess I'm going to have to do that next time I'm over there, just to say I have.
I'll tell you what, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. They got the most amazing piers. There's always people out there fishing. I mean, there's always something cool going on. But man, that water is cold. Now, this rail is going to include electricians, pipe fitters, laborers, HVAC techs, plumbers, carpenters, you name it, guys. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on to build all this thing. Now, they talked about building one in Texas from Dallas to Houston And they were talking about that in the 70s, maybe 70s, 80s. So they've been talking about that for 50, 60 years now.
Oh, that's been on the shelf for a bit.
It's been somewhere. It's in the box is where it is.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it is they were saying that once that rail was done, you're going to be able to get from Dallas to Houston in 90 minutes.
Man.
Yeah, that's freaking cruising.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like this one in California, that's like 400 miles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
From
And
LA
Dallas
to San
Dallas to
Francisco,
Houston's
like
250. So
250.
this is
Okay.
quite a bit bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a lot of work, guys.
Hmm.
A lot of work out there.
So
In
this
an
is
8-year project. Like,
yeah. That's why I started with that. It's like, look, that's going to be a big deal. But this is going to be a lot of local people getting hired. They'll get benefits. The apprenticeship programs are going to go berserk out there, guys. Because if you can show somebody, look, we've got 8 years worth of work ahead of us, people are going to want to get in. They can get in now, help start building this, and be a journeyman by the time they're done.
that's right. Yeah, on the same project.
Yeah, that is nuts. So
That's
anyway,
fun.
if it's something that you're interested in, reach out to the union halls in California. Maybe track the public bid packages to see what's going on. MEP subs are going to be in demand. And I promise you, they don't have enough people right now to do this. You can't just put out a call for 10,000 people one day and like, oh yeah, they're lined up here ready to go. I'm just telling you.
And there will be some people that travel across the country to go work on this thing just to say, man, I built that.
Absolutely.
And I love it.
Absolutely.
Like there's a bunch of people that chase stadiums, and I just find that so intriguing. And it's like, man, do you know how many stadiums I built around the country? And it's like, wow, you worked on all those. That's pretty cool. And you know, hey, if it's something that you want to add or check out, definitely check out California.
Well, and like my buddy Philip Richmond, he's worked on Cowboy Stadium. He worked on Globe Life Field. He's worked on Atlanta Stadium. He may have even worked on Vegas Stadium. And man, he's just good at it. He's a superintendent, but he's also a welder. He's actually in the Welders Hall of Fame. So I mean, just pretty cool stuff. Let's jump down into website review. FineHomeBuilding.com. How'd you find this one? I just want to know.
Man, oh no, where is it? Oh, there we go. Sorry. How'd I find it?
Mhm.
I Googled it.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of my favorite tools. But like the main reason I find it, like moving into the new place out there at the outhouse, there's a lot of different things that need to be done in this house. And we're all moving, relocating. We're tradespeople, so we're always chasing some work, and I get that. And you step into a new place, well, there's something that you want fixed because it bothers you too bad or things like that. So I dig into some of these websites. That's a bunch of basic how-tos. I've got a large outdoor space out there on my end. I've got a deck and everything. I've thought about pergolas, things like that. I look at outdoors. I look at indoors, hanging swings on the porches, things like this, different lightings. There's a little bit of everything in here. And something that I noticed moving into this new place is they have this house sealed up tight. I've never opened up an attic access that actually you have to open up a plastic barrier to be able to penetrate into your attic.
Oh, and I've climbed up in those, and they're a trip.
That's it. Like, but the house is sealed so well. It's like a refrigerator for me, and I love it, even with the hot temperatures here in Texas. But when you go through and actually learn the right ways to do buildings and stuff and dig in a little deeper, because there's a lot of things that we don't know yet. And this is just a great site to go through and create. You can design things. If you're actually going through trying to design a new space, like us stepping into these Airbnbs, we're at this one and then there's another one down the street, the same owners. Well, this is, like you said earlier, we're in the hero house. really cool theme, basis, design, and everything's geared towards that thought process. The other one
Mhm.
down there is like far out alien getaway. There's aliens all in the yard and everything, and it's just so cool. But you've got to go through and get some of those ideas and see what's out there. So I think this is a great site to just go and check out some different things that you may want to add into your home. And maybe it's not your specialty or the trade that you do, but most tradespeople love to try to get in and figure some things out. We're problem solvers. And when we have a problem at home, a good resource like this is helpful so that we can actually fix the problems that we've got and make mama happy. That's what we want to do at home. So I really think this is a good resource just to get a lot of ideas from and the right guidance on how to do it.
Well, I like this. Look, it's a long time industry staple with articles, tool reviews, pro tips, categories for plumbing, HVAC, electrical, building science. Now, to me, that is a neat one. Strong, strong archive of passive home construction and mechanical design. So it gives you, and I love this because you know me, every time you and I walk into a house, or even sometimes going out to eat, it's like I'm looking at it thinking, okay, you know what? When we build this, we could do this. So it's always great to get out and see stuff like this. But what a great way to do it, never have to leave your house. So there's just great opportunity there.
That's it. And that's one of my favorites. And I'm always trying to show tradespeople how to do more things. It's just my favorite.
Mhm. Well, and if you look at it too, this is great for apprentices because they can watch and learn stuff like this and learn some basics.
Yep.
So maybe you're not asking your journeyman every day, hey, how do you do this? You go home and you look it up and you find, hey, there's another way here. You come in and instead of the journeyman, instead of you asking him how to do it, say, hey, can I show you something that I learned here? And he says, yeah, go ahead. And you do it a completely different way. It's like, man, that's pretty cool. So
Well,
mid-career tradespeople especially can learn
huge.
high-performance system design. So this is a great channel.
Yeah, because a lot of people ask me like, "Oh, well, you learned so much through your apprenticeship." Because I came through the union, and you get so much training as an apprentice because they want you to learn it all. Well, then you become the journeyman, and there's jobs that you get stuck. You're by yourself the whole job. You don't have any
Mhm.
help. You don't have any of that. So a lot of journeymen are like, "How do I learn more about my trade when I'm always by myself?" It's sites like this, guys. Go in and learn some other things, some different tips and techniques, because it's just going to benefit you. And it doesn't just have to be your trade. You could look into other trades also that'll help feed in.
Mhm. And that's neat because, I mean, look at us. We're here in Arlington learning YouTube, but you know what? They're not pulling up other plumbing YouTube channels. They're pulling up automotive channels. They're pulling up different things like that, saying, Roger, look, we're not just looking at the people you're competing with in your niche. Let's look at the people you're competing with on YouTube and figure out how to get you more views that way. So it really is. I love coming to this. I love the way it opens up my mind and makes me think outside the box. All right, let's jump over into business growth. Strategic partnerships, growing through local trade collaborations. Now, I love this from a residential service provider. If you're a plumber, do you have a good electrician, a good HVAC tech, a good roofer that you can do stuff with? Maybe team up on some bids, maybe team up on some projects and say, hey, look, man, we got an opportunity here. If you're doing stuff like that, man, the opportunities ahead of you are great because trades that team up win more bids, they get finished faster, and they get a lot more repeat work than companies that don't. Electricians and HVAC, framing, small consortiums for local general contractors. Imagine if you went to a general contractor and said, hey, I'd like to bid some work. He said, okay, here's the plumbing. It's like, yeah, I'd like to bid the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Do you do all three? No, but I've got an amazing team and we work well together. Plumbers teaming up with restoration companies are freaking amazing.
Hey, that or even more plumbers.
Yeah.
I was on the phone today with Gary with Putnam Plumbing that got ordered a kit this morning, and he
Mhm.
was telling me, he's like, look, I know all my competition. Every plumbing company up here, we're all about the same age. Guess what? When we were all starting, we were using each other to knock out bigger projects together, and we were just teaming up on one so that we could all make money and grow our businesses together.
You bet.
Even though, yeah, we're competition, but guess what? All the customers need help. That's what we want to do, and that's what we're going to show everybody. Don't be scared to team up with a different industry or the same to
Mhm.
open up new doors, because that's the major thing through this, and creating those local collabs, because let's work together to get where we're all wanting to be, and it's easier with a team.
Well, and the good thing is, Randy, I mean, you can share tools, you can share referrals, you can share apprentices. I mean,
Yeah.
Uncle Grant used to call me and say, "Hey man, look, I got a job going. Can you work with me on Saturday if I do it Saturday?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yep.
So, that was always good. But a good way to do this is, look, if you are the guy who wants to put all this together, host a quarterly lunch. I mean, you can feed people for 15, $20. Host a quarterly lunch, invite 3 to 5, 5 to 7, somewhere around in there, reliable trade owners to plan shared projects. So you can literally start talking and say, "Hey, if anybody got anything decent size coming up they may need help with, or they may want to bid another Infinity?" You don't have to just invite plumbers. To be honest, I think I'd invite 6 people. I'd want 2 electricians, 2 HVAC techs, and 2 roofers, and say, "Hey, how do we do something together?" And if you can do that, it's great. There's a Dallas-based concrete crew that grew 40% in a year by locking in 2 big framing partners. It's it's all in how you do it, guys. That's all there is to it. Kevin Hawthorne, how are you doing? Good to see you in here again, as always. Good morning to you from Lakeland, Florida.
Good morning.
And Raju, how are you? Saw you in here the other day. Says, yeah, whenever you go try to see how I would do it better if I were to do this. Wherever
The
you go,
website.
try to see. Yeah. Yeah. No, and I do. I like that.
Mhm.
Guys, this stuff works.
That's it. And we're tradespeople. We're competitive. So it's like, you know what? Hey, I saw a picture of that. I want to see if I can do better.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and hey, if y'all have never done it, go to subreddit, go to www, what is it? .reddit, Roger Wakefield posts. We used to
Yeah.
have the link.
Dr. Wakefield Post. Yep.
Yeah. www.rogerwakefieldpost.com. And guys, I'd love to see any pictures, any videos, good or bad. I know if it's bad, you're going to tell me somebody else did the work. I understand that. And if it's good, it don't matter who you are. You're going to say, "Oh yeah, I did that. I did that in about 30 minutes. I did that in about 30 minutes." Yeah. So it doesn't take me long to do perfection. Hey, it is what it is. All right, service work. Now, warranty into brand loyalty. And I love this because, guys, here's the thing. We all make mistakes sometimes. Either the plumber that we sent out didn't get things done right, or he did it right, but you know what? It started dripping or leaking a little bit later. Okay? It happens. But most warranty works feels like it's a cost straight out of our pocket. But if you do it right, it can be an amazing opportunity. Here's where part of the problem is. A lot of warranty work is done because the plumbing company owner sees a review on social media. It says, "Hey, Squirts Plumbing came out and they did not do a good job." And let me tell you this, look, don't start arguing right there on the internet. "Oh no, we did a great job." You don't know what you're talking about. The best reply ever to a thing like that is, "Miss Johnson, I'm sorry you feel that way. Here's my cell phone number. Please call me directly. I want to take care of you." Now, when you're talking to Miss Johnson offline, you can listen, try to explain things, but here's the deal. You need to fix the problem. And speed and professionalism equal trust and repeat business. Because if Miss Johnson now is like, "Hey, you know what? Once you became aware of this problem, it got done quick, it got done right, and you didn't treat me like I was a crook for wanting my stuff fixed right. Offer an upgraded inspection or possibly future discounts if the issues may be borderline. It's like, look, you know what? I think it was fixed right, but I see what you want. But you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll do this. And since you had to call us back, I'm going to give you a $50 discount card. So next time you use me, you've already automatically got $50 off. And we're not going to charge anything for this, whatever it is. But you can use warranty calls to identify upsell opportunities too. If your plumbers or HVAC techs or electricians aren't going in and doing a 360-degree inspection, if they're not inspecting everything in that house, you're losing money already. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
But it's something that you need to think about. Train technicians to show up with a bonus checklist like, hey, look, I know that we're here to fix the TMP valve on the water heater, but while we're here, we're going to go ahead and do a 360-degree inspection. We're going to check everything just to make sure that you don't have anything that could be a potential problem.
Yep.
It works great.
Yeah, and it's an easy sell too. Like, and you're not selling. All you're doing is, hey, this is covered under our warranty, yes, but also we would like to check everything else. It's so easy. Like, hey, I've got you here. Guess what? Yeah, you go right ahead and take a look at everything. Let me know if there's anything wrong. Why not? Offer that service. Your customers will appreciate that. That will create that real brand loyalty because they're going to be like, man, so-and-so came out to fix it. And they went ahead and checked out the whole place. Everything happened to be great. Awesome.
Yeah. Isn't that sweet of them?
Oh, there was this leaking on my back wall, and they went ahead and fixed that issue to keep that issue from creating bigger problems in the future. So customers respect that big time.
But I love that. Guys, I appreciate y'all putting the link in. Go ahead, Squirt.
I was say there was a small HVAC firm that added $62,000 in 2024 from service upgrades pitched on warranty calls. Guys, that's $62,000 that nobody called and asked for. Nobody did any of that. But hey, since we're there, let's take a look. Hey, this is on its last leg. Do you want to go ahead and fix it, or do you want to wait till it really breaks? You know what? Go ahead and let's fix that now so that I don't even have to deal with that frustration in the future. It can lead to a lot increasing your bottom line.
And that's what it's all about. Look, here's the thing. Here's why we teach what we do. Here's why we talk about what we do. Because if you'll do these things, you're going to increase your bottom line if you're the entrepreneur. You're going to increase your annual income if you're the foreman, superintendent, anything like that. If you're the technician, the journeyman out in the field, you can make more money by learning to do stuff like slab leaks, leak detection, all that. And if you're an apprentice, you're going to make more money faster because you're going to learn and grow faster. Randy, when you were an apprentice, did you make apprentice wages the entire time you were an apprentice? Randy, do you hear me? Are you muted?
Yes, I did make apprentice wages my whole way through.
Okay.
Not because of lack of performance,
Mm-hmm.
but all my bosses realized, look, this is all I got to pay him, and
You're
he's
right.
going to work hard no matter what. He doesn't care. Look, I know where I'm headed. Y'all want to keep me down here? Guess what, guys? Y'all just hold me under that thumb, because guess what? Whenever I bust out, I'm going to bust out.
Yeah.
And once I stepped up and I turned out journeyman, and they finally cracked that door and said, oh, you want to be a foreman? Every 6 weeks to 6 months, I was up the next rung of the ladder, quickly running to a retro superintendent position. So they try sometimes, but it's okay.
No, it is. I always took care of my apprentices. But anyway, the things that we teach in here, no matter what level you're at in these skilled trades, you can make more money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, material equipment and tools. And I'm excited about this one, Randy. Digital pipe locators.
Yep.
Now, I haven't tried the Sea Snake in a long time, and I don't know that I've ever seen the SR24. But new locators combine GPS, digital mapping, and signal boosting, and this can cut your trace time in half. Now, the Vivax, the Metrotech, the VLOC 3, that's the one that our buddies out in California keep telling us we need.
Yep.
EPL.
EPO. Every
EPL
plumber loves them, baby.
solutions. Every plumber loves them. So I do. I want to remember for me and you to get in touch with Vivax. I've tried reaching out to them before, but I want to talk to them and see what we can do about getting a unit out here to try it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there's some really great locators out nowadays, guys. Like in training, we use Milwaukee is what we typically use for our sewer machines and stuff because we've got a lot of Milwaukee. But new things are coming.
But why do we have a lot of Milwaukee? Because we
Well,
freaking love it.
That's it. We love it, and they love us, so it works out well.
It's a good deal.
But there's a lot of new features coming, guys. Bluetooth logging, depth estimation.
I saw that, and I'm like, dude,
that is huge. Because now you actually have an idea of how deep are you looking for. It's not okay, well, I think I fed it down this much and then it turned and this is the distance, and you have to back calculate all this stuff, guys. It's going to give you an estimated depth of how far it's reading that signal away from your wand where you're holding it on the ground. For leak detection, things like that, this is amazing. Sewer systems, things like that. You know exactly how deep that dig crew needs to come out and dig. You already know because you have that. And there's also visual waveform feedback. You can visually kind of see what's going on. And I think this is going to be kind of like a sonar for bats or whatever, so it's going to give you kind of the visuals so that you have an idea of where it's at and what's around. And that's my thoughts. I need to look into that a lot more, but that's my initial thoughts with visual waveform feedback is what that sounds like to me personally.
I like that, but here's the thing, and I know some of these systems you can pair with wireless headphones, and you can also use your augmented reality overlays if it's available there for jobs that have really loud noises, which you and I've talked about. You're doing leak detection in casinos and stuff. And me doing leak detection in trailer parks. I'd go out at 10 o'clock at night and work from 10 at night to 6 in the morning. It's like I'll crawl under about 100 homes tonight.
Yep.
But here's the thing. And me and you've talked about some things before. I think that we've got the transmitters and receivers at the office somewhere. I ordered them one time because I want to plug wireless headphones in to the Sidekick. You put plug a transmitter in, put your wireless in, and go around. I want to see how they sound compared to the headphones. Because me and Terry talked about that a while back. Darren uses not a great set of headphones. Okay. Not saying anything bad about them. They're just the headphones that come with this kit. They're okay. Our headphones are 1,000 times better. But he's like, look, it's not about the headphones. It's about the sound. And I'm like, that's where I ran into the problem with the Bluetooth, because I can't tell you how much better or worse these are than the headphones you build.
Well, it's different. I was going to say the ones I build are mono. So if you hook up anything Bluetooth, you only get to listen with one ear, where I actually split it so that if anybody's hard of hearing one side or the other, you're okay, because I feed the same sound to both. And I could build that into the circuitry. Like I would have to completely build a new circuit board for that. But yeah.
Right. But I've had some of the people that I really trust tell me, yeah, that's why we don't do the wireless speakers like that.
Yep.
So anyway, be wary of knockoffs though.
That's it. Like, and that's the major thing, guys. Don't we do stuff on yours where we buy some Temu stuff and things like that and test it and play with it, guys. But guess what?
To have
we
fun.
know it's not the real deal. That's it. Like, is it going to uphold? No, it's not. We know that initially when we get it. Now, do we hope it does? Sure. Hey, if I can buy a $5 plunger that's just as good as that $100 plunger, great. Would love to tell people that, but most of the time it's just not the case. And we know the reality there. But
Mhm.
yeah, no knockoff. Stick with the real deal if you really want a locator, and look into some of the new features like the depth gauge and that estimate. That's huge in
That
my
I no, I
eyes and
want to see
book,
that.
because that's a lot. Um, but we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. Speaking of good equipment, guys, we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I build two different pieces of equipment. I build a probe, T-handle style, solid block of aluminum with a stainless steel rod. It's real durable for probing in and out of the ground. We prefer that for that meter to the home service. Any irrigation lines, things like that. If there's anything under a slab, though, whether that's driveways, sidewalks, or when you go into that home for a slab, you'll want that sidekick. It's a pistol grip style, but it's an aluminum rod, and that aluminum rod, it's a less dense metal, so it kind of eliminates that layer of concrete when you're trying to listen to pinpoint locate leaks underneath. So always check out the complete kit, and you can check that out at www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you don't know anything about leak detection or the process and procedure, you can come spend a couple days with me. And I host a 2-day in-person training just outside of Dallas, Texas. I've got a slab out there with 11 leaks under it. We'll go through, we'll train you how to locate the lines themselves, pinpoint locate the leaks under the slab. I've got one just outside of the slab so that we can train you on what that sounds like also. But then I've got a couple sewer systems set up, one cast iron and PVC, where we can train you to go to that double clean out outside of a home and determine exactly where a sewer system's leaking in mains or branch lines. We go through that whole process. But also, you can do a sit down and we'll look at the marketing and check your website, things like that, to see if you are promoting your business the right way in your local area so that you are getting the leak detection calls. So give us a call if you want to talk about training or the equipment. Give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to discuss the equipment or the training with you.
And if you want to learn how to do YouTube, you want to learn how to do what we get to do each and every day. I got to tell you, I think I'm living the most amazing life I could ever imagine. I get to do this because of y'all. But if you've ever thought, man, I wish we'd do social media, I wish we'd grow, I wish we'd do this, I created a free webinar for you. So just go to www.justmattroger.com, check it out. And after you watch it, I'd love to know what you think. So let me hear your thoughts. I would appreciate it. Want to give a shout out to ScanProbe Technologies in the house. How are y'all doing? Good to see you as always. As y'all know, I've been traveling around and running like crazy, so I'm way behind on everything I should be working on. We'll say hello there to Billy Big Gun, Milwaukee. I'm assuming that means Milwaukee is badass. Anyway, I think so too.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great for us. It has been great. All right, so MEP and mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Now, these are to us the majors. These are the major skilled trades.
Yep.
These are the ones you got to have a professional license for. Okay, mechanical is your HVAC. Electrical, yeah, your electricians and your plumbers. We've all got to have professional licenses. That's what I love about this. But here's the thing: plumbing. Going to talk about air test versus a water test, pros and cons, and what are the inspector preferences. Why did you come up with this today? Because I love this, because I've had this argument with a lot of inspectors.
That's it. And I've seen this on a job. I'm a plumber, pipe fitter, welder, so I've worked on a bunch of different jobs. But this one takes me back to the water park. Because I think the water park was the first place I really saw us doing air test on PVC lines. Like big air test, not small ones. And it was like, wait, what? Like, don't we always do this for safety stuff? Like, you know what? Let's bring this to life, because I really do like using air to test systems, because like I tell every test crew, hey, if y'all are testing with air, I will clean up any messes that y'all make. Any blowouts, I'm going to clean up that mess. It is so much more forgiving than water, but it can be dangerous too. So you have to think that through and be careful. And knowing the right test method is going to prevent delays and inspection failures. If you're using water and that inspector wants air and something happens and you flood the building, shame on you. You should have checked with that inspector. And that's something I'm going to tell you is every inspector in every area is a little different. Some prefer one over the other. It's going to kind of depend on where you're at. It's not just one or the other. So you've got to figure out who is inspecting in your area and what they prefer. But like a water test, it's heavier. It's harder to cheat a water test, and it's sometimes preferred on multi-story installs. I love that. I used to test a lot of roof drains, things like that. And you want to talk about figuring out how heavy water is. You test some really big roof drains and let them blow out. And it's like, holy cow.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't think about how much weight that is actually holding down on the roof, things like this. And it's like, wow, did they design this to test both of these lines full? Are we sure? This is a lot of piping and a lot of water, and water gets heavy quick.
Yep.
But for an air test, it's a faster setup. You're not dragging water hoses all around a job because, the only tap we have right now is this hose bib on this far corner. Oh, I need 450 foot of water hose so that we can fill this system up. I've been there and done that. That sucks. Air compressor, guess what? I can air the tank up, wheel it across the job, and pressure that line up, no problem. I don't have to even stretch out a cord if I don't want to. But with air also, it can be a higher risk if it's not done properly. If you've got a cap on the end or something, danger tape off that area just in case, because if somebody hits that line or anything while you have testing going on, it can lead to really bad incidents on the job. Also check your code. Some codes do allow both, and that's going to depend on your jurisdiction. One of the coolest ones I found, because we've always done water tests here, but then I went up to do the WinStar Casino expansion, and they let us do peppermint oil testing for the sanitary systems. We didn't have to put a test ball.
Yep.
You just put this oil down in the vent pipes up on the roof, and you walk through the building and smell.
And if you smell peppermint, there's a problem.
We had one band that was loose on the entire job because I kept doubting it. I'm like, man, really? Are you sure this really works? Like, this is the size system. Here's how much I'm dumping in it. Like, are you sure? And then we had one that somebody didn't tighten the band, and you could smell peppermint clear as day when you walked in that bathroom, and it was like, holy cow. This is one of the best test procedures I've ever seen now, not knowing, but it's the least invasive. You're never putting any pressure on anything. You're not adding any weight to anything. You're just putting some eucalyptus oils in that make the smell strong. Pretty freaking wild. Some good tips though for air and water. Use a calibrated pressure gauge that locks for inspector review. We do a lot of pictures, markers, things like that way back, or write down what it is and the time and all that. A lot of the inspectors would look at that as you did it, and then they'd go walk the job, and then they'd come back by and check it again just to verify and make sure. They'd give it a few minutes so that it can lose that pressure. Also document it with video or timestamp photos before covering any walls if you're doing any testing like that. Very important.
It's really funny. I remember an inspector in Dallas, whenever he tested your gas lines, he'd bring out paper bags, just small little bitty paper bags. And he'd come out and he'd look at your gauge and he'd write down exact pressure on it. He'd take the paper bag, cover up the gauge and tape it up, and then walk around, look at everything else, visit with you. He'd write down the time too. And then 15 minutes later, he'd come back and tear that piece of paper open. If it said exactly what it said before, you were good. If it didn't, he's like, you got problems.
Yeah. I like the paper bag though, because guess what? He knows if it got jacked with at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which a lot of people will cheat. They'll be like, hey, just pump a little more air in it. Pump a little more air in it.
Whenever I walk him around this corner, add a couple PSI. Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
not worth
Yeah.
it.
Make sure it's make sure it's right on 15 pounds, just like it was supposed to be.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Where's the work at?
Man, something a little different today, guys.
I
Some
see this.
MEP packages for new prison and correctional facility projects. Did you ever get to work on a jail in your career?
I did not.
No,
Did
I
not.
did.
Uh-uh.
I got to build the brand new Garland jail, one of my first union projects. So cool. Like all the piping is hidden, guys. And that's one of the things that I found was the coolest for prison because I was working with the plumbers. So doing a lot of plumbing and vents and trap primers and all that good stuff. Because man, there's a lot of drains in a prison facility. But over $3.5 billion in state prison renovations and new builds that are coming all throughout this year. There's a lot of opportunities in states like Texas, Florida, Ohio, and Georgia that are seeking full MEP bids. And yeah, like that's big money, guys, because there is a lot of piping, especially piping. I know piping because that's the main thing I did. But guess what? There's a lot of electrical in jails too, especially with all the automations and smart things that we have now. It's not just old lock and key anymore. It's all push button and controlled locks and activations. So you're going to have a lot of wires, a lot of extra piping and things like that that run throughout these facilities. But there's a big focus on energy efficient HVAC. Like we talk about a lot, everything's trying to go to a zero build efficiency so that it doesn't cost anything to maintain the buildings. So they're really starting to focus on a lot of more efficient ways of building and installing. Controlled plumbing, anti-tamper proof, everything's hidden and blocked. It's just stainless toilet sink combos that get installed that they can't access anything at all whatsoever from inside the cells. So it's really neat to see how all that's done. And there's always generator systems. There's typically a separate building, just generators to keep the power going because of how important it is. Good ways to get into this. Watch public records, GSA schedules, and correctional facilities that are requesting for pricings.
And here's why. Anybody who wants to learn more about GSAs, remember Kizzy Parks?
Yep.
That's what she teaches people how to do. So I'm just telling you, if you're watching or listening right now, and you're like, you know what, man, I'd love to do work like that. I just don't know how. I don't know how to get in or whatever. The GSA schedules, this is where you bid on government projects and where government projects are awarded. So if you want to learn more about that, we've got a girl. She's a YouTuber. She's phenomenal. We've been in training with her. I've known her for years. Her name is Kizzy, Kizzzy, Parks, Parks. Go over and check her out. She can teach you how to win and get this work. It's a pretty neat deal.
That's it. And you can also partner with some general contractors that are experienced in the federal and state bidding because subcontractor is the best way to get on some of these jobs because you've got somebody overlooking it, things like that. And if you're a small company, you can team up with some bigger companies and help them out. Like we were talking about earlier in the show, don't be scared to team up with locals, even if it's the same trade to help open new doors. So love that.
It's structured training. Not like this because, and this is something you and I talk about a lot, but reverse teaching, letting the apprentices explain why. You know, we talk about teaching an apprentice, then letting the apprentice help us, then letting us help the apprentice, then us watching the apprentice, and then the last one, let the apprentice teach someone else how to do it using that same format. When apprentices can teach, they understand it. But apprentices who teach become stronger leaders and they become better technicians because they understand why it's important to do things right because they've learned it well enough that they can teach it. Now, good thing is you let them walk through steps of a task before doing it. So tell me step by step. You know, I had a buddy when he hired project managers and he worked for one of the large contractors in Dallas. He'd give them a drawing of a doghouse and say, do me a favor, do a takeoff for this. And they're like, dude, that's a doghouse. He said, yeah, I understand. I need you to do a takeoff of this. Give me a material list of everything I need. Well, you'd come back and it's like, maybe they didn't get tar, paper, and shingles for the roof. Maybe they didn't get wood or wood screws or nails. There's a lot of things, and he'd go through and he'd look at it, and he'd had his list, so he'd pull it out and compare it and say, hey, you gonna put shingles on that roof, or you gonna let it rain and just soak your dog? But he was really good, and that's a great way to start and let them go through it.
Yeah.
When you're teaching with apprentices, you assign the trainer of the day. Let them lead the toolbox talk. We talked about that just the other day. Guys, it makes people understand why things like this are important, and it makes it a big deal. But the more you can get them to teach, the better it is. Let's move into specialty, because we're getting down to something that I love, and I want us to go to a training on this, because I've got reasons behind it. But custom home radiant floor heating, why layout is everything. These systems are luxurious, but every botch, they're easily botched without a plan. And if you mess it up, and I mean, literally, and look, I was just studying this like 2 weeks ago when I was in Alpharetta with Schluter Systems. And I'll tell you this, the little control wire, if it gets a nick in it, if you are not so careful when you're putting all this down, that nick will make it not work, because it's not getting the right voltage or amps or whatever, and it just doesn't work right. But these systems are great. But the loops have to be evenly spaced for even heat. That way there's not any cold zones. Yeah. And you don't want a bunch of them together. Now you got a hot zone. So there's the staple up kind versus slab on grade versus overpour. And there's pros and cons of each, but study them and understand which one's going to be best for you. The plumbing must account for the flow rate and temperature differentials, no matter what system you put in. Have you ever seen the ones other than the ones that we saw up in Albany?
No, I was going to say Renai
is beautiful.
That's it. Like, I've seen a lot of videos on it before, because that much piping going into a building that's not feeding fixtures, is just heating a floor, intrigued the crap out of me. I mean, I just find that cool. I love piping.
Okay.
We can put piping in the floor.
You say all that water going into a building, guys, this is a closed loop. So it's not like you're wasting water every time you heat the floor. Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, just like that much water piping. And, I get questions about this a lot nowadays with doing Leak Pro, because people ask me, hey, we've got a loop leaking. Can we use your equipment to find it? Well, yeah, it's going to get you like pinpoint location. Well, it depends on how evenly spaced these are and all that stuff. But yes, you are going to be able to find a good section that you're going to know you're going to hit your leak whenever you get to that location.
The hard part about doing leak detection on a loop system is, I mean, it's everywhere. You're gonna have to build a grid system for testing, and just, hey, every 1 foot by 1 foot square we touched, we hear it louder over here and not louder here. So yeah, that I see how it could be done.
That's it. And I think it's really cool though. And as you're doing this, you want to test each loop individually. Because if there is an issue, you don't want to have to just go search the whole system. That is not going to be fun. Yeah. That's it. So definitely think about that. And like you said, I liked your little grid system after the fact. But even whenever you're first starting, look, map those zones out. Look, this one's going here for this part of the loop. This loop's going to be here, even if there's multiple loops in the rooms, different things like that. Know where everything's at and which quadrants or sections it's actually feeding, because those systems can get very large very fast depending on the square footage of the homes or commercial buildings nowadays.
And Randy, a good thing is, and I learned this at Schluter the other day, is if you're the guy installing a system, document it, take pictures, put measurements down. Literally, they talked about somebody that had to come in later, and it was a warranty type deal. So he had to come in. The guy went back and looked at his drawings or his pictures, came back, made 2 marks on the floor and says, here's the exact 2 points you're talking about. And they're like, how do you know that? And he's like, well, whenever we put it in, we detailed it. And literally what they would do is they'd put the floor in, then they'd lay a tape measure out on top of it, take pictures of it.
Yes.
Man, you take pictures of it like that. Okay, wait, that looks like it's at 4'3.5". Yep, that's exactly where it is.
Yep.
How much better does that get?
That's it. It's a detailed map to the location of piping. That makes my heart happy.
All right, Scott, do me a favor. Go ahead. Have you pulled up Mac Day Concrete yet?
Yeah.
Because we're going to roll into social media spotlight. And what I liked about this channel is it breaks down concrete basics like pouring, finishing, stamping, which I think is just so cool, and then sealing. The good thing about it, the strong content for new hires or apprentices in flat work or decorative concrete. So this is a great place to bring apprentices in, say, hey, y'all, go through these videos. I have people reach out to me all the time, say, Roger, what's the best way to start learning about plumbing? I don't know. Maybe watch my videos. I've only made 1,800 of them. It works. Why'd you pick this? Randy?
Let's see. We are half a year in, and I don't think we've talked about a concrete guy yet.
There's probably a reason.
There probably is, but you know what? Every building, well, not every building, most buildings
Almost every building. There you go. No, you're
on
good.
concrete, okay,
Yep.
or have concrete in them heavily, especially commercial buildings now. But most homes have some concrete. And guess what? We're printing homes with concrete now. Okay. So get a little familiar with it. And why I like to look at it is I kind of like concrete. I do leak detection. I build slabs, things like that. So I'm always curious about some slabs and concrete. But one of the things that I found intriguing a long time ago was when we did Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah.
To see the stamping and the staining, they would do dyed concrete, colored concrete that looks like wood floors. And it's like, holy cow. I had no idea you can do those types of things with concrete. But this one it's pretty good. Hit 324,000 subs. We're sitting at 105 million views. Doing really good. And this is everything about concrete. From finishing to pouring, how quick they can do things, different tips and tricks.
I'll tell you what I like about this and the how-to series. He's got how-to series on mixing ratios and curing times, which a lot of people, they read the bag or something. Okay.
Yep.
Figure it out. There's a science behind it. And there's common mistakes when pouring in hot weather that a lot of people don't even think about. So curing concrete is a science. There's a lot of stuff, but he's got great examples of trades education that builds confidence and attracts new talent. I tell people this all the time, and this is why I pitch YouTube so hard, guys. If you've got a company and you're making videos about, hey, the kind of people that we want to hire, if you're sitting at home right now eating Cheetos and watching soap operas, you're probably not the plumber we want. But if you're out on the biggest job in town and you're the plumber everybody calls when they got a question, you're the guy I want. Well, that doesn't just help you get them, but it helps your potential client see he's only hiring the best plumbers. This may be the company that I want. So I love that.
Yeah. And like, this is one of the ones we talk about, and it's something that I've brought up before, was concrete finishers. $100,000 a year skill. You think that's accurate? Yeah. No doubt in my mind, because if you have a quality finisher that has the experience,
he makes you money.
That's it. That, as they call it, they can burn it in and make a glass looking surface.
Yep.
They are definitely worth 6 figures in salary.
Well,
and
Randy, look at your slab out at Leak Pro. When it gets wet, you got to be careful.
Yep.
It is slick as glass.
That's right. That's it. And they asked me, what do you want? And I'm like, look, I want a smooth finish. And there's a reason for that, for training, so that we don't deal with the grainy stuff and have to throw rags down or quarters or any of that stuff. but it's beautiful. And that's
Mhm.
probably coming from my commercial background and industrial. I worked on a lot of warehouse floors, and it was like, man, I want that smooth, crystal clear. It's easy to clean. You don't deal with a whole lot of scrapes and stuff whenever you actually do trip and fall on it.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of different things, but man, concrete finishing, it's a great trade. It's a great skill that you can go out and learn. And that's why I kind of wanted to pull this in, because it's completely out of our norm that we pull up for social medias. And I just want to show you guys, every trade can do socials out there. Doesn't matter if you're doing concrete, framing, plumbing, welding, any of it. You can get out there and show off the things that you do, and you can grow a following.
Yeah,
So,
you can grow a good
really
one.
neat. Like, that's it. That's it.
I love it. All right. This has been fun today. I love talking about different things. I love that we get to, number one, I love that we get to do this every day. And we get to do it because of y'all. Randy and I, we do. We enjoy the trades. We both know the trades have given us both a wonderful living. They've helped us do some cool stuff. But the most important thing is they allow us to do this. They allow us to come talk with y'all live every day. They allow us to come build a community. The trades have literally gotten us in a position, and we see the value of it. And I hate that we're still telling kids, if you don't go to college, you're never going to amount to anything. And that's so much non-truth to that. But the bad thing is that's what your parents and counselors and principals and teachers, that's what they were told. And the truth is you can make an amazing living in the trades. But if you're going to move up and become an entrepreneur, you got to make your phone ring. And that's the situation I was in, trying to figure out how to make my phone ring where I could pay bills and pay my people. So I went and learned social media. And I have probably spent, Randy, cover your ears because I'd be embarrassed for you to even know it, but I have probably spent $500,000 learning social media between all my coaches, all my mentors, all the books I've read, the classes I've taken, the systems I've bought. I've probably spent $500,000 learning social media. And to be honest, I love YouTube the most because YouTube is where I can make money. YouTube pays me, sponsors pay me. You can make a good living. But whenever I did this as my plumbing company, it paid through it. Meaning, I remember walking out of the office one day and Amber told me, hey, we got 3 slab leak jobs today because of plumbing. And I'm like, Amber, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I know we didn't get 3 calls this morning because of YouTube. She said, no. They came in last week. We went and looked at them last week. We had the dig crews out last week. We've got 3 tunnel jobs going on right now, and the guys are already out working them. So yeah, we do have 3 jobs today because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Guys, it makes your phone ring. It literally can, and it makes such a difference in your business. So if this is something you'd like to learn more about, I made a webinar just trying to teach you why I think anybody can do YouTube. And people that tell me they can't, after they watch this, are like, well, okay, maybe I can. If you want to learn more about it, go to www.justmetroger.com. And Squirt, tell us about our amazing sponsor, Leak Pro.
Man, we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, guys, where we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And my favorite part, guys, is I build user-friendly equipment. You know, a lot of things, oh, it's got all these gains and all this stuff. How do I actually set it? How do I do it? Mine, you put it on the valve, you push the button, and you listen.
That's
There's a
it.
volume knob. That's the only adjustment on the whole thing. So if it's screaming too loud, man, turn it down a little bit. Save them ears. That's what the volume knob's there for. But to check out our equipment, I always suggest checking out the complete kit that comes with both pieces of equipment. It's going to cover you for anything outdoors and indoors, even under slabs, things like that. So check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you don't know the process of doing leak detection yet, man, give me a call. We can sit down and we can talk about a 2-day training I do outside of Dallas, Texas. I'll teach you how to locate line, pinpoint locate leaks under a slab, outside of a slab, even locate them in sewer systems, and how to promote this service in your local area. So give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to discuss equipment or training with you so that you don't miss out on leak detection in any jobs or have to make your customers wait for that leak detection guy that's 2 to 6 weeks out so that they can come and actually locate it for you. Get the right tools in your hands, guys. Once again, check out the website at www.leak-pro.com.
I love it. I want to jump in the comments real quick. Raju, hello. Good to see you. Says, hey, guys. I like this one here. Ismail Ortega says, hey, Roger, just made the cut into local 525. Your videos helped me decide to go the union route. Thanks for all you do. Local 525 is great. Love it out there. I really enjoyed getting to go out to Vegas, meet with them. Ismail, man, the apprentice competitions they do are wonderful. So pay attention, learn, grow. Anybody joining the union, anybody getting in the trades, anybody becoming an apprentice, I'll tell you one thing. Keep on learning and always try to be the very freaking best you can be. And whatever you do out there today, do it safe and have fun.
That's it, man. Thanks for showing up. Hope to see you back here tomorrow for a wonderful Hump Day episode. Everybody get out there and hit it effing hard. You know we will. Bye, guys.
See y'all.